What's up, guys? Today's video will be talking about, this is my first video actually on YouTube, so yeah, I'm really excited. Today we'll be talking about creating black and white images with Lightroom. This image was shot with natural light with my 50mm. I love this lens, 1.8 f-stop. The model you see here is Resame Oyama. She is an amazing person. I will leave a link in the description below so you guys can go check her out on Instagram. I am Ben Ushe. I am a portrait, fine art, and fashion photographer. Like I said earlier, we'll be creating a black and white image using Lightroom. And I know a lot of you are asking already, why is this image in Photoshop? Well, first of all, what I like to do before I color any image at all, I retouch the image. Most definitely, I think it's best to retouch your images in Photoshop before you actually do any coloring. This is frequency separation, yeah. So I retouched this image and her eyes as well. I kind of like brightened it and whitened it a little. So yeah, I did all this in Photoshop first of all, then I jumped into Lightroom. So yeah, you guys will be jumping with me as well into Lightroom. So yeah, let's get to it. So we are in Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. I saved this image as a PSD file, so importing it into Lightroom was pretty easy. So first thing we want to do is to click black and white over here. Some photographers will tell you to just simply slide the saturation bar here all the way down to 100, and then yeah, you have a black and white image. But this is not the kind of magic we are looking for today. Like I said earlier, click the black and white button, so I'm just going to return this back to 0. Yes, just we don't want this, so we'll return this back to 0 and just hit black and white over here. I mean, it's here for a reason, guys. First thing I like to do, I like to edit the basics. I like to go from top to bottom. So we are going to start with the basics, and I'll be increasing my contrast. I think I'm kind of like, I'm okay with the exposure. I love the exposure in this photo. So my contrast, I think I will work with, let me say 11 or 9. I'll work with 9, sorry. That's 119. I will work with 9. Then I think I will leave the high. Normally I reduce the highlights, but for this photo I think I will leave the highlights the way it is. Like I said earlier, I'm satisfied with the exposure of this photo. So I will increase my shadows, yeah, to 9 as well. Okay, I don't go too crazy with this. Why I increase my shadows, I love to bring out the details in my photos. So I feel shadows help you bring out the details in your photos. So we'll move to the whites now. I'll reduce my whites. I always reduce my whites, and my blacks as well, to add to that contrast. I think 15. Yeah, 15 is okay. Like I said earlier, we can't go too crazy with it. And I will increase my clarity a bit higher, like, let me say something like 5. Okay, that is good. So we can work with vibrance and saturation, obviously, because it's black and white, so that is out for us. So now we will move to the tone curve. The magic, guys, is in the tone curve. I love the tone curve. I played around with this to get the look I liked. You guys can play around with this too until you get precisely what you like. You can sit for hours and do this. Some people say it's addictive. I think it's funny. You can imagine someone saying, I'm addicted to drugs, and then you say, I'm addicted to tone curves. It's kind of like weird. Okay, forgive my bad jokes. So yeah, what I normally do with the tone curves, I create an S curve. The black point here you see is for the shadows, and the white here you see, sorry, it's still black, but normally here is for highlights, and over here is for shadows. If I bring this down, you see it kind of like brings out the blacks in this image. Yeah, I could go really. Yeah, but we don't want this. We don't want it. This is scary. So yeah, we'll be editing with this. Like I said earlier before, what I normally do is I create an S curve. Yeah, so I just bring this down, you know, to create that contrast. Then I take this up for the highlights, you know, just to this up, I guess. Oh, alright, that's cool. I'm not going to do too much with this today. I already love how this looks. If you see the before and after, let me show you the before and after. Before, after, before, after, with just the tone curves. And what I do, I love the matte feel. So what I would do normally is take this up. You see it's matting the image already, but I don't want to matte this image. I will just leave it the way it is. Sorry, like I will just leave it the way it is, like this. So yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this. Yeah, this is great already for me. So you guys can play around with this until you get what you like. I like this and I'm leaving it this way. So we will move now to the black and white mix. The black and white mix is really awesome. For some people in Lightroom, this is where the magic happens. I won't lie. This this is an awesome part of the whole process, the whole editing process. So what I start with is the reds. Normally the reds affects the lips of the model. So if you bring this down, you can see the lips there. But we don't want to do that. That is not cool. So I think I'm going to leave the red the way it is, -9. Okay. Then for orange, orange normally affects the skin tones of the model. If you want to edit the skin tones of your model while editing in black and white, orange is your go-to when editing in the black and white mix panel. So for orange, I think I'll okay, let me see. All right, if you bring this higher, you begin to see the model skin pop out, and if you bring this lower, you see the way it darkens. So yeah, I'm going to leave this the way it is. Yellows and greens affect the background of your image. They kind of I feel is a very useful tool, because when you edit the background of your image properly, it makes your model stand out in your photograph. So for yellows, if I bring this down, you see the background, it gets darker, and if I bring this higher, it gets brighter. So for this, I think I'm going to bring it down a bit. 33. Okay, that's okay. And for my greens, okay, let me see. I think I should probably leave this one the way it was. Okay, I'll leave it the way it was. For my aquas and blues, I don't think I'm going to work much with this, because there wasn't really any blue in the photo. For purple, I think I'll just play around with this until I actually see what I like. I don't normally use purple and magenta, but like I said earlier, you can just play around with this until you get what you like. Purple, so I'm going to slide this up. If you notice, it's kind of like, if you notice, it is affecting her eyes. You know, if I bring this down, it makes the lighting in her eyes darker. If I bring this higher, it pops it out. So I think I'll go with 46. Okay. For my magenta, let's see. Okay. If you notice, it's kind of like affecting her hair. So for magenta, I think I'll go with 44 or 45. No, we have to be precise. 44. Okay. Right now I'll move all the way down to camera calibration. So I would edit my red primary, my green primary, and my blue primary. For my red primary, I think my saturation, I'll increase my saturation to about 10. Sorry, that's 20. Okay, I have to go down again. 10. And my greens, I think I'll take it up all the way up to, okay, if I bring it here, if I reduce the saturation, like I said earlier, your greens affect your background. If I bring it down, like you see, it's going to make the background brighter and it's not going to make our model stand out. But if I higher the saturation here, it makes the background darker, and yeah, all we begin to care about is the model. So yeah, 83. I'll work with 83. And for my blues, I love the blue. The blue especially, it changes your photo dramatically. So for my hue here, I think I'll take it up to about 10. Sorry, 10. I think I'll just reduce the saturation here. 44 or 44 will do. Okay. So let's see the before and after of this. Okay. Okay. So we took care of the background with the camera calibration here, and you can sharpen your image in Lightroom. If you like, I don't usually sharpen with Lightroom, but you can sharpen with Lightroom. You just increase it here, or you come here to details and you sharpen here. You increase the amount. Okay, let's say 59. And this is the amazing thing, you mask it. You can mask it in Lightroom if you want. You can select areas you want the sharpening to affect. If you don't want it to affect the whole picture, all you have to do is press down Alt and push this button all the way up. I want it to affect only my model, so yeah, it's going to be on my model only. So there you have it. I'm going to reduce this a bit. Yeah. Also, you can add a bit of coloring to black and white. You can color your black and white if you'd like, if you're a vintage stylish person. So all you have to do is work with your highlights here and your shadows under split toning. Split toning adds colors to your black and white photo, and I really think that you can use this to consistently color your black and white image. It kind of like creates a signature look for your photos. So you can work with this if you like. Normally I would leave my photo like this, but for this tutorial I will show you guys how to color your black and white images as well. So if I wanted to color this, I would, okay, I'll start with the shadows. Take this around here, in between the blues and the purples, and I will increase my saturation a bit. Okay, that's adding like a color to it. Yeah, you can see it's bluish already. For this, my highlight, I'll take it here, or like yellows. This is hilarious. I don't do this, but I just hope you get my point. This is, yeah, okay, but you get my point. If you want to ever, do something like this, if you want to color your photos in Lightroom, your black and white photos in Lightroom, split toning is the place for you. So let's see the before and after of the whole editing process. Okay, I just have to close all this first. Sorry. Okay, so before and after. This is the before, and this is the after. Before, after. Alright, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I love black and white photos. You can create awesome black and white photos using Adobe Lightroom. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment box below. Like this video if you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified whenever I upload new stuff here. I will see you in the next one. Peace.